This is a raspberry souffle. Not as easy as it looks. Please go and get into your aprons for your challenge today.
Being in the bottom 5 is just, yeah, I think it's a really good experience because you get to cook more than the others. It's the only positive.
To be honest, I cooked from my apron before, and if anything, I came out stronger from it. It's the first time I've been in the bottom 5 in the competition, so I'm looking forward to the pressure test.
I suppose I'm just upset because I thought I did really well. Obviously wasn't good enough. It's just a lot of pressure.
I suppose I'm disappointed to be here because I felt I worked hard yesterday. I didn't feel anything went wrong in the kitchen and I got my food out on time, so I suppose I'm surprised that I'm here.
You now have 1 hour to present perfect raspberry souffle. You can make as many as you want. You just need to present the perfect one.
As soon as it's ready, you may join the rest.
Whoever fails on this task will be going home.
Good luck, and your time starts now.
At any time, cooking a souffle is a difficult task. Without a recipe and being an amateur, it's an exceptionally tough challenge. And Sinead's calmness from yesterday is slowly dissipating.
Never cooked a souffle before. I nearly died. I actually thought that he was going to give us a demonstration or give us the recipe. I hadn't a clue what to do.
We were told to make a raspberry souffle. I was very comfortable with that because I do know the basis of a raspberry souffle. I know how to make one.
In the hour, the contestants have definitely enough time to perfect 2 souffles, and if they were very fast, possibly 3. But what elements do they really need to pay attention to?
So there's 3 crucial elements to a souffle. There's, of course, the creme pâte, which is basically a custard thickened with flour and corn flour. Then we have the raspberries themselves, which are going to be made into a puree. And then, of course, we have the meringue, which is just simply egg whites and sugar. Of course, the temptation is, with the lack of experience, that you would add more egg white than you would flavour, in which case we get this beautiful standing tall thing that tastes of nothing. That's what we don't want today.
Your apron hinging on a souffle is the worst thing. It's a dish that can go horribly wrong. So yeah, it was pretty scary, you know.
Never cooked a souffle in my life before. I didn't even know what was in a souffle besides egg whites. I didn't even know how long to cook a souffle for.
Okay, guys, you're 15 minutes in, so you got 45 minutes left.
Just 15 minutes into the hour, and a flustered Simon is already presenting his souffle. But in a panic, he has forgotten to use the wooden board provided for presentation.
My first one was just okay, and for some reason I presented it.
Thank you, Simon. Can I join the others? Thank you.
I wish I'd just taken my time and relaxed a bit and really thought about it, because I probably could have done a much better job, you know.
Giving the choice was the hard bit because it was like, do I serve the first one that's up or do I go back and do a second one? I was happy with each element and I thought if I did it a second time round, I probably wouldn't do anything different.
Thank you, Tamara.
Thank you.
I just did 1 attempt, and because it rose, I just decided to go for it because I wasn't sure if I did it again, if it would rise again. And I couldn't find the icing sugar to sprinkle on it. I just couldn't find it anywhere, so I don't know if that'll be a point against me as well. I didn't have any icing sugar.
Thank you, Sinead.
Thank you.
I went with my first souffle, although I did rather sabotage it by putting a raspberry on top of it before I put it in the oven. So it didn't rise as high as it should have done. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'd say 6, and yes, I could have done better today.
Thanks, Andy.
Thank you.
Thank you.
With the other 4 contestants finished surprisingly early, a determined Terry is taking his time.
Terry, you are halfway through, so you have half an hour left.
Sure. You know, the test wasn't a speed test. You know, if it was a speed test, I'd be going home, but it wasn't a speed test today. It was a pressure test. I just went, look, you've got a good one. You know, the others, there may be problems with them, so, you know, it's going to come down to the taste and the presentation.
Thanks, Terry.
Thanks, Terry.
Thank you. I think that was a good indicator of how I deal with pressure.
As the contestants leave the MasterChef kitchen, Nick and Dylan must decide who will be going home tonight.
Obviously, he hasn't put it on a board. Wasn't there nice little raspberries on the side?
He ran up here with it on a tray. Like, he ran up in the first 15 minutes. He had another 45 minutes to go, and he chose to serve that. I don't know why, but I just got the feeling that Andy was going to be our man today. At one point, I looked in the oven, and he had a raspberry on top of it, cooking it inside rather than adding it later. So he just didn't seem to know what he was doing today.
She has a lack of confidence still. She thinks that she can't cook desserts, but I have to say, it's not a bad attempt.
She seems to think that she doesn't flap anymore, and I knew today she would.
She was still flapping because she couldn't find the icing sugar. The icing sugar was right in front of her.
Yeah, that's part of flapping, isn't it?
Yeah, she is a flapper.
What I liked about Terry the most was that Terry stood his ground.
And it's actually a very tasty souffle, and it looked fantastic. You know, it was a brave attempt at something that she's never done before.
Do you think it was a brave attempt? Hammer for me, the lady that walked in here and cooked the first dish, that was probably one of the best dishes I've eaten in the competition. She's not really performed another task like that.